Well, hi and welcome to my very wintry office. We're in the middle of an Arctic blast at the minute. Had it for 3 days now. Still in winter, but it's been an extremely wet winter. Right, now I want you to listen to what's going on around me. We have a slight dispute of territory with the grey thrush. We're on the boundary of about 3 of them. So they've decided this is my area and they're working out the boundaries between them, so there'll be a bit of argy-bargy. It is not their breeding season just yet, but they're building up to it. And that's what today's all about. This video is all about birds nesting and how I go about working out where they're nesting by listening and the visual as well. Now, while we're on the grey thrush, you have to let them tell you where their nesting site is. So it's just a matter of listening. As I'm walking down the trails, I continuously hear them every day. I'll stop, listen, see if I can home in on where the nest is. Then there'll be the visual after that once I've worked out reasonably well where they are. So what happens is I know instantly that they have built a nest, because I'll hear that normal tone from the male sitting up high in the trees. Then the female, if she calls back with a very low one pitch note like this, that tells me that she's going down to the nest and she's asking the male for help to make sure that there's no one around. So that's one of the things I use to home in on birds nesting, not just continuously blundering through the forest hoping I come across something. Use my hunting skills, natural instincts. Well, that is the yellow robin nest. Now, I've shown you that before. A couple of weeks ago, I'm actually building the nest. I was sitting just on the side of the track here watching all the dogs go past off leads. And they built that nest and stopped halfway through for some reason. But they're still here. And what alerts me to the fact that they're getting close to nesting is they start coming together a lot more. So I'll see them on the track close together all the time. Yeah, they don't sort of separate too much as they're building up a bond. And once I see that the male starts feeding the female, bringing her worms and stuff like that when she's sitting up on the ranch, I know that they're building a nest somewhere. It gives me the indication. I don't have to go chasing. I know they're in that area. It's just a matter of every now and then as I walk past, just looking, having a bit of a visual, seeing where they are. And once they have a nest and they've got an egg in it, the male will feed the female. So that's part of that bonding at the start, continues right through to the end when the chicks leave the nest. Is he'll continue to bring worms up to her. She'll go and get her own, have a bit of a break, but he will bring them to her. So you see them on the track, consistently going to an area with worms. Yeah, that's where the nest will be. So it's just a matter of following in, being cautious and respectful. As I've said so many times in the past, it's all about reading the body language of the bird, telling you where the tolerance zone is of where they'll allow you to be up close to the nest and they feel comfortable that you're not going to be a threat. Walk inside that area, they will react and you won't get natural behaviour. So you won't get the right photograph, you won't get the right bit of footage because the bird will be in stress. So it's all about staying back, being respectful. Got it? Good. Just listening to the grey thrush, I can't get enough of them. It wasn't I didn't have those stupid cars in the background. I'd just close my eyes and listen to that all day. It's just awesome, love it. Oh, whipbird as a bonus, they're hanging around here. So I'll hear them as I'm walking down the trail as well, like now. So I know that these guys are back in their area, so they'll be nesting further down, is the area that they like to go in, usually within a 50-metre radius of where they've nested the year before. So they'll just stay within this area. During the winter I don't hear them much, but as now we're getting into spring, they're all starting, the 3 pairs that are in here I should say, all starting to rebond together and establish their territory. Yeah, they'll do this big circuit of the area that they've chosen and they'll look for a nesting site within that. So over a period of days, me walking through the reserve, I keep hearing it, and that circle gets smaller and smaller, so I can work out roughly where they are. You have to be extremely careful with eastern whipbirds. They can build a nest, you disturb them just that once, they may not come back to it. Very likely that they won't come back to it. So even if they have eggs in the nest, they will just abandon it at a drop of a hat. So what I normally do with them to avoid any hassles is, so I'll slowly work up to where they're potentially nesting, and it's just about visual, staying back as far as you possibly can, actually see them go to a spot, and then maybe, you know, the next day come again, and if they're going back to that same spot, well, that's where the nest might be. Leave it for a couple of more weeks, then go investigate a bit closer. So the nest, get out of there, move away. Always make sure that they're not in that area when you go to look. We do not want to freak them out at all. Then it's once the chicks hatched, they won't abandon it, then they'll stick with them. And then it's just about staying back in that tolerance, out of that tolerance zone a fair bit actually, to make sure that there's no hassles. It's all about using the further zoom that you have, so it's a photograph. It's about cropping back in post to get a close-up. Same with filming, you just can't take the risk with them. They are super easy to freak out. Had the guys from Melbourne Waters come in and clean all the blackberries out of here a few years ago, and I was talking to them and I warned them where the nests were, but they moved through those areas and were only there for a couple of hours in each spot where 2 nests were. They abandoned it, just at drop of a hat. They never came back. Just from the noise of the whippersnippers was enough to freak them out. Now that is why I bought the Osmo Action camera for, besides blogging, be able to put it into places you could never put a camera, where you're not disturbing your subject. Indiscreet, tiny little thing. And where I put it with the white-browed scrub wren, it was easy. I could see it. I studied what they were doing, how they were coming in, where I could put the camera very quickly without disturbing anything. So yeah, it just worked out beautifully. I waited for them to go. They flew off. I quickly moved in, put the camera down, stood back, used my mobile phone to activate the camera and everything, so I'm about 4 meters away. I'm not disturbing them. Now, because I understand the white-browed scrub wren very well, I knew that the camera wouldn't bother them at all, being so small. If I'd have put my XF400 there, on a tripod, everything, yeah, they wouldn't come in. But knowing our subject makes a big difference, where we're not disturbing them, being respectful. So yeah, it worked out well. Didn't take any notice of it. Beautiful. And I love the purring sound that the female made as she came into the nest and was building. Never heard that before. But obviously that's what they do. I could hear the male making a similar noise as well outside. So I learned something. It was awesome. Now what I know about the white-browed scrub wren, how they behave during the year, and what notifies me that they're pairing up again, re-establishing a good strong bond, is they do this bobbing actions up and down. It's awesome to watch, very comical. But they also do that when another pair come into their territory. They do it more aggressively, bobbing. I have to be extremely quiet. I'm watching a white-eared honeyeater build its nest about 10 meters away from me. My camera is about 3 to 4 meters away from where they're building the nest. I'm sitting on this log so I can be nice and comfortable, using wireless triggering to set off the XF400. It is the only camera in existence that has the pickup for this on the monitor, so I can just put the monitor on the right angle and fire it from here, 10 meters away. It's awesome. So let me show you where the camera is and where they're building the nest. So there's my camera just there, hard up against that tree fern, and come across to here. That is the nesting site just there. So you've got to be really quiet, inconspicuous. Hopefully they don't see the camera there, but yeah, try to make it as least obvious as possible so they don't disturb them. I'm nice and comfortable, sitting here on this log waiting for them to come. I've got the mozzies to keep me company, of course. I don't have any footage of them building nests from the start, so this is my best opportunity. So yeah, it's just awesome. I saw her this morning as I was walking up through the fern forest here, the fern tree forest, to look for owls, see whether they were back in this area. And I saw her coming out of that little bush, and she looked, sort of cautious, a cautious posture. So that alerted me to the fact that she was up to something. So I just come and sat here and watched what was happening, and sure enough, took a bit of nesting material down there. This is all new to me. I've seen the finished product, but I've never seen how they construct it together. So she's laid down spider webs first in amongst that bush, and it's got a lot of climbing grass on it. So I'm hoping that now that I'm here in the afternoon, that they'll continue building the nest and I can get something really nice. But anyway, I'm going to shut up now, sit back and relax, watch what happens. Fingers crossed I get something really good. Well, this is one of the first greenhood orchids to come out just before spring, which is in a couple of days. They're like the guardians of the track. So they guide you through the reserve all the way along the track here in the main track. And if you stray off the track, that's when they turn into a cobra and attack you. But yeah, they're just starting to come out, and I'm going to take a few photographs of them with the close-up lens on. Listen to those beautiful sounds of my backyard. It's just awesome. It's very important that when we want to photograph birds in the forest, if we can find their nests by using our hunting skills, listening to what they're saying, how they change their behaviour as they go into breeding season, their body language, how they behave, the changes in the tones of their voice, of their song, it'll alert you to the fact that they're nesting. Use all those skills and you'll get the job done quicker and more efficiently and not disturb the bird and all those sort of things. The drone saga is over. eBay told me to send back the $2 gift that they sent me, and yeah, big story if you don't know about it. I'll leave a link to the video that I made about being scammed on eBay. It's got all the details there. But yeah, I sent this $2 gift thing back. eBay said that they would pay me back. Send it back, we'll pay you the money once it's been delivered. Well, it got delivered, and I got a thing from eBay saying that good news, the seller has paid the money into your account. Absolutely stunned. The seller, who was ripped off tons of people with this drone bullshit, a criminal giving back money? That doesn't really make much sense. But anyway, I checked PayPal, the money is in my account, it's been paid. Will I buy the drone now? I'm so disillusioned by the whole bloody saga. It's really put me off buying a drone at all. But I just need to calm down, think about what I'm going to do from here on in. I really want the R6. It has the intelligence that no other camera has ever had before. Just the most amazing, powerfulest autofocus system ever made, and it can definitely give me what I need to photograph the agile Antechinus, because it bounds like a possum, and I wanted to catch it in midair. Beautiful action shots. 7D Mark II can't give it to me. I can't do it. I physically cannot do it, even if the camera can do it. But I need an intelligent system that'll do it in automatic. So fully automatic tracking, following, eye detect, it can do it. And from what I'm seeing in the forest with background distractions and everything, it just locks on to that eye and it'll get it. So I forget about the drone and keep saving up and buy the R6. It's frustrating because I want those shots, but I also want that dramatic flyover of the reserve so that I can start my documentary and all that. So I'm just all at the minute. So there you go, that's all you're getting for today. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel and get more of this amazing stuff, click on my pretty little face just down here in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Click on the little bell, you'll get notification whenever I do anything else. And if you want to go and have a look at all the other mad and crazy things I've been doing over the years, click on my icon right here. There'll be a link at the end of this video to my channel. Click on that. Go and have a browse. There's tons of stuff there. There's over 150 videos there now. Me talking about photographing, filming in a forest environment, give you lots of tips there. When I go on adventures, I take you with me. And yeah, there's tons of stuff. Go and have a browse. There'll be something there of interest to you, I am sure. Now, just remember, if you don't do, you don't get. So get out there and start photographing and filming wildlife. Stay away from that coronavirus shit. Stay safe. And I'll catch you on the next one.